Oh, I'm alone in here now, and I feel like I can talk at a normal volume. My helper, Dea, every time she's within earshot and I start talking to my phone, like if I'm doing this, recording a video, or if I'm using Marco Polo or something, like I'm using doing a voice message for someone, and I just start talking, she's like, "Sir," and I'm like, "You really think I'm talking to you?" Like, ah, shut up. Ugh. I'm not talking to you. Don't interrupt me. Blah. So I'm like, that's why I was like, blah, 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 blah. I'm talking in a quiet voice so she wouldn't be like, "Sir, what?" Okay, you really think I'm talking to you when you see me looking at my phone? If I want you, I'll say your name, Dea, like I always do when I want something from you. And then I feel like she's always eavesdropping, and it's just like I don't really keep secrets from her, but it's just like I feel like she's always like, "Oh, that's interesting. What you're saying? So I feel like that video dragged on too long, just because I'm like, I don't I don't feel comfortable with Dea's like eavesdropping, and that she's gonna give her opinions on shit later, and I don't really care about her opinions on shit. One thing he asked me is if I share secrets. If like he asked me about what my relationship is like with my mom and dad, and like which one I'm closer to. And I said I'm close with both of them, really close with both of them. And then he's like, "Well, which one would do you go to when you want to tell secrets?" And I'm like, because I shared everything with both of you. I don't keep secrets that I can think of right now. I don't keep secrets from my mom and dad, and I'm like, shit, I don't want to pick one. But I'm like, okay, I guess my mom. Huh? And what else did we talk about? He kept asked me like 3 times what you think of the case. And he asked me if you know about the case. And I'm like, yeah. Like I tell him everything. We talk, or if we don't talk, we communicate like several times a week. Sometimes multiple times in a day. And also asked me what kind of relationship I have with my brother. And I said that we're close. And I said that Eric knows everything that's going on. And he asked me what Eric's job is. He asked me what my parents' jobs are, and also what Eric's job is. I don't know how that's gonna become relevant, but he did. And yeah, he I said that Eric is a writer because you have a master's in poetry, right? I said sometimes you get paid for your writing. You do, don't you? Not you didn't hit the big time like Sean, right? But you're a writer. I know you are, and I think you've been paid for your writing from time to time. When I said you're like I didn't say he sells stuff on Etsy because I barely know what Etsy is myself, and he probably doesn't know what it is. And like, I didn't say that you're like like a furniture manufacturer, like a custom furniture builder. I said that I thought of what you did in Hawaii and before Hawaii, and I guess after as well, where you're a construction boss. Because, I don't know, like if I say he works in construction, he's gonna think of like the construction workers here who like build houses and like I don't know about in the more like urban like skyscraper part of Metro Manila. Those guys that build like big office buildings, but the guys who build houses like in this area where I live, this Colinas Verdes, they are like low on the economic spectrum. So he'll be like, and I thought about that real quick. I was like, yeah, my brother has a master's degree in poetry, and he works he's a construction worker. He's gonna picture like these dudes who they're building this like brick house, like brick and steel, iron mixed house, but they don't go home. They live in a wood like lean-to shack beside the construction site, and they just like to shower. They have like a hose that's getting water from somewhere, and they just get down to their boxers and like get themselves all wet with the hose, and they have like some soap, and you see them if you go out in the morning or the evening when the sun is not so bright and intense. And they you can see them sometimes like they're all soapy, like got all they're just like taking a shower like in the street with a hose, and they like cook their meals there in their wood shack and do construction like all day, every day. Yeah. So, but I was like, so that's why I was like, well, he's a boss. My brother's the boss of construction sites, so make it sound better. I don't know. But you are the boss. Whenever you do that type of work. Yeah, and my helper, Jennifer, she said that he asked if I play with Alex, and the truth is I do. And she told him the truth. That I play with him a lot. I go outside. We play outside in the morning and in the evening. And then I read books to him, which is true. And, etc. I spend a lot of the time of the day, every day, with him. And he also asked me about, like, when Jinky comes here with Daisaku, do we like argue and talk about the case? And I said, no, we don't. Neither of us want to, like, in front of the kids. And he's like, oh, that's good. Like, when she's here, we intentionally avoid things that we would argue about. That we don't talk about things that would make an argument between us. I think at least I'm making an effort, and I think she is too. Like, we just go to the clubhouse pool, I told him, or we hang out at home and bake cookies. Both of those things are true. He did ask me a sort of embarrassing question. I mean, like, the answer I had to give was embarrassing. Because it's just like a fact of life, but it's kind of uncomfortable to talk about. So he's like, how's your sex life? And I'm like, yeah, don't have one. And because, like, before that, he asked me when Jinky and I argued in the past when we lived together, what did we argue about? And I said one of the things was sex. And I said, like, I don't think it's comfortable, like, for a man, like, or I don't think it's normal to go a long time without sex. So then later, when he asked him his question about my sex life, and I'm like, there isn't one. Like, there's like this pause, and he's looking at me, and I'm like, well, I watch porn. And then that's like, it's like awkward to admit. Like, I know that so many men at different ages watch porn, and in all different countries and whatever, and different religious backgrounds, watch porn. But it's kind of awkward to admit. And luckily he didn't ask for me to go on. He's just like, oh, okay, you watch porn, so, like, to relieve yourself. Yes. Relieve myself. Remember the Alamo.